So recently I decided that this particular pen, good afternoon everybody, was sufficient for nighttime and the occasional bad weather day, but that the chickens needed a little more run room. Now I'd love to have them free running on this whole yard, but our neighbors have had problems with chicken hawks. Ignore the pool pallet there, that's going to eventually be part of a pond. But our neighbors have had their chickens swiped from their yard, so we just don't really feel confident that we can do that just yet. But this pen is built out of some leftover scrap materials that were donated to us for different reasons, and bits and pieces of things we already had lying around the property. I've had this desk set for years, and there's just no room in my house for it currently. So what I did is get back in there. Come on, Foxy. She got curious because I was standing up. But these are tent poles for a tent that's no good. That's just a piece of scrap wood. That there's a side panel off a pop-up camper that was falling apart and left behind. And then just some bits and pieces of wood and some chain link and some T-posts and scrap materials, obviously. And I had this really great 12 by 20 pop-up garage shed thing that got snatched by a tornado or a really heavy storm or whatever it was. It happened in the blink of an eye. And half the poles were bent and twisted so that they couldn't be used again, and the other half were okay. But the chickens needed some outdoor access, uncovered but secure. And they need a little more run room with some grass. And that end you can't see the grass because the hay's on top of it right now. But they needed some bug access and some sunshine, some vitamin D, and a little extra run room, because this here is only 13 by 9, and about half of it is taken up by their coops. The wind blew the curtain down. And at first we had this set up, and they were able to climb over and go into the creek side, and we didn't like that. And then my son came over, and his idea was to use this long tarp that's designed for an outdoor gazebo thing that someone left here, but they didn't have poles, they just had the covers. And it was better than nothing, but it negated the purpose of having a sunshine area, not a covered, tarped area. And today I've let these guys have free run now that I've got wire, hog wire, chicken wire. Foxy, you're such a butthead. Get back inside. You stink pot. Hey, Ronnie boy. Anyway, today's the first day I've left them out here unattended for an extended period of time, now that we have mostly covered area. Now, strictly, what we did is it is not covered between this gap and that hog wire, which you probably can't see from this angle. It's only about 5 foot wide, and the whole pen's about 10 foot wide. But the goal was to keep it high enough on the outside creek side so they wouldn't be tempted to fly over into the creek area that I can't hardly get to without struggling myself. And overall, it's been about, I don't know, since about 9:30 this morning that I've had them free running in here. And I do say free running because they have more exposed open area, even though it's not free running. And so far, no one's escaped. Foxy seems to think she has to climb up here and talk smack to me. Hello, Foxy. See, Foxy's the softy gray, and Epiphany's this little black and white. And I could tell you the breeds of these birds if I look them up, but I don't remember. Most of them I did not know their breed when they were gifted to me. We were informed that little Drusilla is a black star, and we know that Stevie is an Easter egger. She is off in that corner. She needs a chicken saddle because Ronnie won't leave her alone. She's his target right now. Hi, Kira. Kira, kitty, kitty. She says, I'm gonna come check you out, Ma. Over here in this corner, we've got Darla and Cordelia checking out their little bugs in the little shaded area. And that's Miss Stevie going over here behind the desk. These two reds are Betty and Winifred. Drusilla is the black star. Ronnie is the jerk. He's a jerk. He's mean today. He's a bit of a spitfire. Hey, baby girl. That over there is little Miss Lita Ford. She has given us our first 2 and only 2 naturally hatched eggs here on the homestead. So yeah, I thought I would share with y'all some little progress. We're going to hang this chicken swing later after I get Ronnie put up in the other pen so that he won't come at me all piss and vinegar like, because he is in a fit today. Hello, Epiphany. Now technically, I could put a gate on here, but I haven't got one put on here yet. So I've got this T-post in the ground firmly. This T-post is in the ground firmly. This one can just pull out and walk in or walk over to the side. Unfortunately, they have messed up my hole that it goes in, so it doesn't go far enough down for the chicken wire to hit the ground right now. Hello, Epiphany. So I've got a little blockade going on. I'll figure out that whole situation later. I had pipe in it, and the T-post kept getting stuck in the pipe. But as I've said many times before, I'm learning everything I'm doing as I go. Trial and error is my way of thinking. I'll do it the way I see in my head. I'll cross my fingers it works. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, well, damn, I'll try something else. I originally had this step in there, but I thought it might be useful for me outside to make it easier to reach things. This here is usually in the regular pen with a food pan on it. And this here I have plans for, but I haven't figured out how I'm going to make them work yet. I want to make a drawer at the end of the brood box so the eggs will roll away, but not break, but be separated from the chickens after they lay them. Let's go see if they laid any eggs in this new brood box yet. Let me go take a peek. I do not, oh, looky there. It looks like there are 2 eggs in there, but one of them looks broken. I may not be able to zoom in that far. But at least we know they're using it. I figured I'd probably lose a couple eggs the first couple of days we actively use this pen. I would typically leave them in the main pen long enough to lay their eggs. But today is my last day off, so it's my last chance to put them in here for an extended period of time and determine whether or not they would be safe on the days that I'm not physically present. Here, the reason I needed that was because this needs a deep cleaning. And deep cleaning is a hard task as it is, but a harder task when you're getting beat up by mangy a mean rooster. That's a fake egg back there, and there's another one in this brood box. But I'm going to pull everything out of here when it cools down just a little bit. Get all fresh, all this dirty hay out. Clean up the linoleum floor in here. Put fresh hay in all the beds. Hopefully I'll get that done this afternoon when the sun starts to go down but isn't gone. If everything goes as planned, all that hay will come along to the back side here where the garden is. And I've been using that chicken shit, goat shit hay as fertilizer for the garden. And it might be harder to see out here because the sun's bright as all get out. But the zucchinis are big, but we don't have any zucchinis popping off yet. The peppers are starting to improve. This side of peppers is really looking good. That one cabbage looks great. The cucumber is blowing up. The corn is starting to really get tall and nice. The tomatoes have tomatoes on them, but they're not turning red yet. This is our volunteer pumpkin that we pulled out of the compost pit. She's wild, but she's looking rough at the roots today, so that extra coverage from the hay I'm going to bring out here will do it good. There's 3 watermelon plants there. We have honeydew and cantaloupe here. Once I put all that hay on top of that soil, it really started to blow up. The squash